I'm Leanne Bennett and I'm Snitch's mother.
And I'm Shay Bennett and I'm Snitch's father. Always, I can go way back when he was about, how old was he when Nanny bought him?
Three. He got a PlayStation when he was 3.
From my mother, bought him a PlayStation, and it was like a switch went on and you couldn't get him off it. And one story we tell that shows how into gaming Josh was from an early age. We had to find a way to control his gaming. And so we bought what is known in the family as the piggy timer. And it's a little wind-up timer for cooking eggs really. And he was allowed 30 minutes. So we'd wind the timer up and go 30 minutes and he'd play. When this thing went off, it was so loud, like wah, that it would scare the life out of him. We
had a little stool kind of poof thing he sat on to play. And when the piggy timer would go off, he would often fall on the floor.
And he would make that exact noise. When we went to visit family in America, he would be very focused on how he was going to carry on playing while he was there. So he would speak to your brother and they would sort out a laptop for him and that sort of thing so he could carry on his journey,
he became quite good at planning. You know, he'd say, how long have I got till dinner? Is it an hour? Have I got 20 minutes? You know, and he would always plan his gaming around that. It's incredible. It's incredible that this is a job. This wasn't a job when I was a kid. Nobody said I want to grow up and be a gamer. And even, I mean, this is really, really recent, this kind of thing. Esports has become a thing, but it just wasn't.
I mean, you go back 5 years ago, it wasn't a thing, but I think there's been a massive shift in all these kind of online careers with vloggers and YouTubers and that. Jobs you couldn't even consider when I was younger. Even putting the tech to one side, you just didn't think that was ever going to be a thing you can make a career out of. And I think what's changed in maybe Josh's generation and younger is they can kind of just make up a job and kind of make it happen. And that's kind of exactly what he did. He was so tunnel vision with this is what he was going to do that he made it happen. And
he did. He really went out. He said, this is what I want. And within 18 months, he had it. He just kept hammering at it. We actually had a period, we kind of laugh about it now, where we were saying, you know, come on, you're 19 years old. You've really got to you're going to have to get a job if you can't make this thing work.
He was younger. Yeah,
you're right, he was 18. But he'd been out of college, he'd finished that, and he was just still kind of going after this gaming. And we thought, is this a real thing? Is this going to happen? And we kind of said, well, look, we're going to set you a deadline. And if you don't have it by then, you at least need to get a part-time job. And he was like, you know, really freaked over this. So we set Valentine's Day as the deadline.
By accident. It was February the 14th, but it just turned out to be Valentine's Day, yeah.
That kid, amazingly, he comes downstairs with the biggest grin on his face at 11 p.m. on the 13th.
Yeah.
And says, I've just been signed.
Yeah, and that was it, yeah. So
he made it happen.
And it happened about, what, 2.5 months we gave him that deadline. It basically wasn't New Year's Day, wasn't it?
No, it was a long time.
Yeah, 6 weeks,
and he just went after it and made it happen. Absolutely made it happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't we? He's happy. He's you know, viable. He's making money. He's seeing the world in little bits and pieces, fair enough, mostly around hotels. But he is traveling. He's meeting people from other cultures.
Yeah, he's been to so many countries. He's had experiences that I think you couldn't possibly get. Like you said, meeting people from other cultures, making friends with all the other teams. What I really like about Heroes is that it seems like, even though they're super competitive, it seems like almost without fail, team after team, they get on with each other and they support each other. And when someone goes out, they're immediately rooting for the other European team or the other team that's like they've got friends in, which I really like that spirit. So yeah, absolutely want him to continue as long as he can in this very competitive space. I mean, it's for an industry that's less than 5 years old and has matured incredibly quickly to a level where when he started. We've got a picture earlier on when who does he play for the first time he played for?
He played for SK.
SK, and the tournament, first time we played in, Dig won it. And so we've got this picture of Dig winning the first prize, and it's like almost like it was a sign of things to come. But even back then, it seemed very small, the industry then, and very tiny, and none of this sort of scale. And that's what 2.5, 3 years ago. Now it's massive, And
here he is with a regular salary and being flown around the world, and
And you've got these massive sponsors that you're on board, and you're playing at one of the biggest convention centres in the world. And yeah, I mean, do we want him to continue? Absolutely. And whatever that means for his position going forward in this space, because I think there's probably is a shelf life for gamers, because I think it does skew obviously younger. I'd like him to go on and do other things in this industry as well, whatever that may be, whatever he wants to do, but to maintain a presence.
But he loves this world, and you know, we want him to be happy, so we want him to stay in it.
Yeah. Maybe Josh's heritage comes from me as a gamer very much when I was younger, back obviously pre-internet, just playing games by yourself essentially, or you'd have mates around and play games like that. But my parents were very supportive, but it would always be like, you need to get outside more, you need to get outside more. And now the world has flipped. Now, if you, my advice to parents is, if your child wants to leave the house, you say no. You get back inside your bedroom and carry on playing those games. And that's the biggest turnaround we've had, I think, in the last 5 or 10 years, you know. That's gold, that advice. And you can literally take that all the way to the bank.
I love these people.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I got a tweet from Grubby earlier in the week, and I think it was mostly to embarrass Snitch, but it was also, it really touched me because he was saying, oh, we're taking care of your boy till you get here. And that's kind of how I feel the community has been. Josh has made such good friends, not just players, but casters, people from Dig, people from other companies, you know, and teams, and they've just all been so supportive and welcoming, and he has a community, has a tribe, you know, that's, thank you.
As I said, I think what's really nice is just that there's the support from team to team, and I think just from Dig as an organisation, but also Blizzard and the Heroes community and the gaming around that, and the fans. I mean, the fan support. When you look at win or lose, and Josh wears his heart on his sleeve. So when you win or lose, when he goes to Twitter and puts something out, and you just see everyone rally around him, almost without fail. People rally around it in a positive way. You know, you're still our favourite. We still support you, and it's lovely. And I think that just it says a lot about, again, a very young industry, but how it's matured so quickly, and it's in a really, I think, a genuinely good place.
And it is kind of weird. I mean, you wander around BlizzCon and people come up and introduce themselves and take selfies with him, and you're thinking, this is my kid, it's a bit weird.
Oh, and the funniest thing from that, we live in a very small town, little village in the south of England, and about a year ago we went out for a meal at a local pub, and a man came up to us who was in his 50s and said, I'm sorry to disturb you. And I'm thinking, oh, what's this about? And he said, are you Snitch? To our son, and it turned out that he was someone's.
He's Athero Angel's father.
Dad, yeah, and it's come out of nowhere, little place, you know, middle of nowhere, and walked up to him. And we thought this is quite strange, but it's been a bit like that ever since. So yeah.
But it's great. It's lovely that people, they seem to really warm to him, because he is what you see with Josh is what you get. That's really who he is. There's no.
He's just a nice
fake.
kid, yeah.
There's just no fake to him at all.